Perhaps you're renovating a property and you want to estimate the cost of plastering, decoration, renovation or fitting out tasks. In this video, I'll demonstrate how to use the tools on the Rooms tab to identify or survey the rooms in a design you've drawn, and how to estimate renovation tasks for a whole building or for individual rooms or walls. You need to start by drawing the existing property, taking care to draw all of the components as existing, non-estimated items. This means selecting the existing wall specification when drawing the walls. This will ensure that you're not pricing up the existing walls. When adding any doors or windows, select the option to add an existing door or window to an existing wall. Again, this will ensure the existing doors and windows aren't added to the estimate. When drawing items such as staircases, you'll need to click on the staircase, go to the Architectural tab, click the Estimating button, and click the Set Selection as Existing option. Click Yes on the dialog box, which asks if you're sure you want to mark the selected component as existing. This will ensure that your staircase has a zero cost. Once you've finished drawing the existing property, check that the estimate cost is zero. In this example, I'm renovating an older property. I need to replaster the walls and decorate. To get started, go to the Rooms tab. Now click the Survey All Rooms button. BuildingWorks will automatically detect the rooms in your design. The identified rooms appear as shaded yellow shapes. If BuildingWorks detects any rooms which aren't really rooms, or which you don't want to renovate, you can simply click on them and delete them using the Delete key on your keyboard. Each room is numbered to start with, but can quickly be labelled so you know which is which. To label a room, click on the room name. The Room tab appears at the top of the screen, with a new set of tools. Select the appropriate name for this room from the Name drop-down box. Continue clicking on each room and selecting an appropriate name from the Name drop-down box. Now we've identified each of the room, we can start estimating some tasks. You can apply a finish to all of the rooms in a house in one go. Say for example you wanted to decorate a whole house with the same specification of decoration. To do that, click the Wall and Ceiling Renovation button without selecting a room. The Wall and Ceiling Renovation window is launched. Click the Decoration and Joinery button and select Internal Decoration from the drop-down menu. Now select the appropriate decoration specification. For this job, I'm going to use the internal decoration specification, as I don't need to decorate coving, dado or picture rails. Once you've chosen a specification, click Next. Now you can select the rooms you want to apply this specification to. As I'm decorating the whole house, I want to select all of the rooms. For speed, you can click Select All. Then click Next. Now you can select which specific walls you want to apply the specification to. All of the walls and ceilings have been selected by default. As I want to decorate all of the walls and ceilings, all I need to do is click Next again. BuildingWorks displays a summary of the dimensions of the walls I've chosen to decorate. So we can see the total length of wall, the average height of the wall, and if we scroll down, we can see any areas of opening. These areas of opening will be omitted from the wall area when estimating the cost of undercoat, paint and so on. Once you've finished scrolling to the bottom, click Next. You can now review the cost of stripping a door. Change the figure if necessary, and then click Finish. You can enter the number of doors which need stripping in a moment. If we take a look at the estimate cost, you'll see that BuildingWorks has estimated the cost of decorating the entire house in just a few clicks. This includes the cost of decorating the walls, ceilings, skirting boards, internal doors and so on, and includes all material and labour costs. But we're not quite done yet. You can add extra items or one-off costs to the estimate from the Wall and Ceiling Renovation window. Click the Review Sundries button under Internal Decoration. Here you can estimate one-off costs such as the decoration of radiators, removal and refitting of radiators, and the stripping of internal doors. You can add extra items for the whole house in one go. Tell BuildingWorks how many radiators of each size you need to decorate. I need to decorate 5 radiators of various sizes. I need to remove and refit 5 radiators. Use the up and down arrows to tell BuildingWorks how many of each item you need. I also need to strip 5 internal doors. And I'm going to add 8 hours of decorator's time to prepare for decorating the house. So that's the extra items for the decoration added to the estimate. Click OK, and click OK again. Now you can see the estimate for the decorating tasks we've estimated so far, including the extra sundry items. You can also take a room by room approach if you need to apply different finishes to different rooms or walls. I'm now going to demonstrate how to estimate for renovation tasks room by room. Click on a room on your plans to select it. Then click the Wall and Ceiling Renovation button. The Wall and Ceiling Renovation window is launched again. Let's take a look at it in more detail. On the left-hand side of the screen, you can see the selected room, in this case the lounge, and the ceiling and each of the walls associated with that room. Note that the icon and the description show which walls are external walls and which walls are internal walls. Click on each of the individual walls. The selected wall appears highlighted in red on the diagram below. At this point, note down which wall is which, maybe even draw yourself a little diagram with pen and paper. You'll need to know the wall numbers later on. Let's start by plastering the external walls. Click the plastering button and select plastering from the drop-down menu. Now select the appropriate plastering specification. There are many different variations, so scroll down the screen and read through the descriptions carefully. For this job, I need skimmed insulated plasterboard to studs for the external walls. Click on a specification to select it, and then click Next. Now select the walls you want to apply the specification to. In some cases, you may wish to apply a different specification to different walls. For example, the internal and external walls may require a different plastering specification. In this example, I want to insulate plasterboard and skim the external walls of the house. That's walls 1 and 2. In a future edition of BuildingWorks, the interactive diagram will be available here to help you select the correct walls. But for now, you'll need to have made a note of which wall number relates to which wall. Tick the boxes of the walls you want to apply the finish to, and then click Next. As before, BuildingWorks displays a summary of the dimensions of the wall or walls that the finish is being applied to. So we can see the perimeter or length of the wall height, and scrolling down the screen we can see any areas of opening. As with the decoration, any areas of opening will be omitted from the wall area when estimating the cost of the plasterboard, insulation and so on. Once you've reviewed the dimensions, click Finish. You'll then see that the skimmed insulated plasterboard to studs specification has appeared in the Wall and Ceiling Renovation window, as it's now in use. If you click onto each wall, you'll see that the Applied to this wall tick box shows which walls the specification has been applied to. So it hasn't been applied to walls 3 and 4, but it has been applied to walls 1 and 2. That's because I want to apply a different specification to walls 3 and 4. If I click back onto the room name, you'll see there's a drop-down box which indicates this specification has been applied to individual walls within the room. To select a different plastering specification to apply to the other walls, click the plastering button and select the plastering option from the drop-down menu. For the internal walls, I need to use the dot and dab skimmed plasterboard specification. Click on the specification to select it and then click Next. The lounge has been selected, so I can just click Next. Now I can select which walls I want to apply the specification to. In this case, I want to apply the specification to walls 3 and 4. Untick or tick the boxes of the walls as appropriate, and then click Next. You can see the length of wall that this specification is being applied to, and any areas of opening within that wall. Once you've reviewed the dimensions, click Finish. Now we can see that the second plastering specification has been applied to individual walls, only this time it's been applied to walls 3 and wall 4. Now let's overboard and plaster the ceiling. Click the plastering button and select skimming and overboarding on the drop-down menu. Once again, select the most appropriate specification. I'm going to select the overboarding with skimmed plasterboard on battens specification. Once you've chosen a specification, click Next. Now select only the ceiling. Click on the ceiling tick box to select it, and click on any others that you want to unselect. Then click Next. Here you can see the area of ceiling which has been overboarded. Once you've reviewed the dimensions, click Finish. Click onto the ceiling, and you'll see that the overboarding specification has been applied to the ceiling. If you click back onto the room name, you can then add sundry items for the plastering by using the Review Sundries buttons. However, there's another way of adding extra items which I'm going to show you in a moment. So for now, click OK. Clicking OK will save the plastering finishes and return you to the drawing. As you can see, the estimate cost is building as each renovation task is estimated. On the drawing screen is an Extra Items window. You can open it by clicking the Extra Items tab. If the Extra Items tab isn't already visible on screen, go to the Views in 3D tab, click the Window button, and tick the Extra Items option. The Extra Items window will then appear on screen. From the Extra Items window, you can add some sundry costs. For plastering, there are options to add additional labour to prepare for the plastering. You can also add corner beads and labour for removing and refitting the radiators. Add any extra items you require, making sure you don't double up on any costs. For instance, I've already allowed for the removal and refitting of the radiators, so I don't need to add it to the estimate here. If you hover your cursor over the top item, you'll see that it allows you to estimate time for the plasterer's mate to prepare for plastering. The second option allows you to estimate for the plasterer. I'm going to enter 4 hours for the plasterer's mate to prepare for the plastering. So that's the extra items I need for the plastering done. Click back onto the Rooms tab if you need to. To quickly check which finishes have been applied to which walls and rooms, click the Show Wall Finish tick box. BuildingWorks highlights the walls which have the selected finish applied, so you can see that the internal decoration specification has been applied to all walls within all rooms. Select an alternative specification from the drop-down box. You can see that the different plastering specifications have been applied to the external and internal walls of the lounge. Continue to apply the plastering specifications to the other rooms. You can take a look at the estimate in more detail at any time. As you apply each renovation task to the rooms, BuildingWorks uses the specifications you've selected combined with the dimensions of the room to estimate each element of the job. To take a look at the estimate, click Estimate on the Project Explorer. You'll find yourself looking at the Estimate dashboard. Here you can see the cost of each aspect of the job, along with the total cost of the work. So we can see the cost of the internal decoration, the plastering to the external walls, plastering to the internal walls, and the overboarding. Click the relevant Open button to look at any aspect of the job in more detail. Here we can see that for the internal decoration, BuildingWorks has estimated decoration to the walls, ceilings, skirting board, external door, internal doors, insides of windows, and so on. All the hard work's been done in just a few clicks. Over to you. Draw the existing property, ensuring each element is drawn as an existing, non-estimated element. Navigate your way to the Rooms tab in your drawing. click the Survey All Rooms button to identify the rooms in your design. Then click on each room and select a name from the Name drop-down box. Once your rooms have been named, click on a room to select it, then click the Wall and Ceiling Renovation button to begin estimating some renovation tasks for that room. Give it a go.